Hey, welcome back. Welcome back to the Colorado Rockies. Burke Urquhart's Colorado Rockies, 1993. I am still just sitting here in amazement that these Rockies, I only made a few changes to the lineup and suddenly we're number one in batting average in the league, number two in on-base percent, third in OPS, third in WOBA, fifth in home runs, fourth in runs scored. We've got an offense, and it's due to Coors Field and those slight tweaks that I made in the lineups. And probably I'm wondering how much. Well, this big empty space right here in the middle of the screen is a big part of it, but also I'm just wondering if these guys, I don't know, if they're streaky, or just wondering if a slump's about to happen. But anyway, I'm really amazed at the top half of this chart. Stolen bases and base running. I just recently in game time, about a week or two ago in game time, made a change to the base running. And my fast guys, I have them set to aggressively run the base paths, but I have stolen bases. It started off high, but I turned it down low. I think my assistant manager is a small ball kind of a guy, that or the bench coach, and they had it set to steal a lot of bases. And during spring training, somebody strained a groin or something, and so a couple of guys did that, and I was like, nah, I'm turning this down, so don't want to have that to deal with. But they are aggressive on the base paths. The fast guys are. So all that's good. Fourth in runs scored, yeah, we're going to ride it. This bottom part of the graph of the chart, this is the problem. Runs against, 13th. Starters ERA 13th and bullpen ERA 10th. Really what matters is runs against. And we need to handle that by strikeouts helps. I can't believe we're first in strikeouts. I haven't really prioritized that, but there it is. And errors is good. We're a low error kind of a team. We need to get the defense up. And I'm not so sure. I don't really care about having a great pitching team. I just want to keep the ball down and in play and in the zones where my guys can get to them. So I'm really happy with my I started to say strong safety. My shortstop, Jose Vizcaino. Defense, excellent defense. Covers a lot of range in the middle infield. Ideally, I'd like to upgrade him to somebody who covers more, but that's good. He's hitting 279 with a 292 OBP. Not great, but for now, it works. It works. And of course, I've got Lance Johnson in center field, basically playing the monster outfield for us. He's hitting 308, 357 OBP, and also giving us positive WAR. So those two guys up the heart of the Coors Field are good. Now, all that, I'm just still struggling with this. And I'm just sitting here sort of almost in a daze about this dichotomy we have. Of course, this is the two-edged sword, I guess you could say, or the two-face about Coors Field. It's great for our offense, but it's hard on our defense and pitching. That said, let's go look at how I built this team. So we've looked at the amateur draft. It was a great draft for catchers. We've looked at the expansion draft, and that's how we built the rotation. I also wanted to show you that some of my guys, let me find one. This Felix Jose is a good example. You see he's very unhappy, and yet here he is in AAA. He's hitting 462 in, a week or so of, a couple of weeks of at-bats in AAA after being sent down. Here's why he's unhappy. Transactions. He's unhappy with his performance, but he's really unhappy with his transactions. What transactions? The last transaction was back in December of when we grabbed him in the expansion draft. I shopped him around a few times. I did not realize these guys knew I was shopping them around, and now I feel bad because I've been shopping everybody like crazy. So I need to cool that for a bit and be very discreet in my shopping of these guys. Okay, so let's get back to what I wanted to show you. Major transactions. Let's start. We actually start. I started the sim in 1992 as an unemployed GM, and in October is when the Rockies organization came to be. And we were born with this scouting director, Ruben Marquez. And this guy, he is his own two-face. He's excellent at scouting major and minor leagues and international. He's outstanding at amateur scouting, but his scouting preference is highly favor ability. As best I can tell, this means he is going to be very conservative in his estimates of particularly young talent. The scouts that find the phenoms out there typically are the favor tools scouts. This guy's not one of those. The problem is he's far and away the best scout available. There is a scout available that's great, outstanding, great, outstanding, great, outstanding, great, and legendary who favors tools. And I actually offered him a contract. Let's see if I can go find him. I offered him a contract, and he wanted more money. Let's see here. This guy, Curt Flood. Yeah, the Curt Flood, the actual pitcher. They've got some former players in here. Yeah, great at major leagues, outstanding at minor leagues, great at international scouting, legendary at amateurs, and favor tools scouting preference. I even thought about hiring this guy right before the draft and then hiring my old guy after the draft is over. But I mean, look at the kind of bank this guy wants. He wants $250,000. He wants 5 years. No, man. No. So, anyway, as you can see, my current scout, I think he is by far the best, and I think I'm just going to stick with him. Unfortunately, he's currently making $71,000. He also wants $250,000 per year for an extension. Oh, come on, dude. Should probably, let me show you my front office budgets, show you what we're dealing with. Here we go. Finances. Market size is tiny. Fan loyalty is poor. Fan interest is 100. Now, that's going to fade over time, that fan interest. We've got to do things to get the fan loyalty up and to keep it up. And the only way I know to do that is to bring in popular players once in a while. So I need to keep scouting the free agency and find very popular players that are available cheap and bring them in. You can see our attendance was near the capacity during opening week. It has really dropped off since then. I don't know where they bring in these 1992 numbers because we didn't exist before 1992. We are over budget for the year, and I'll tell you how that happened. I'll show you the percentage in which it happened. But we do have a little bit of cash, about $500,000 in cash. We do have $700,000 budget for extensions for next year. Money is tight, and we were throttled at first. Our owner gave us did not give us the whole contract, the whole budget to begin with, and so I was behind the other teams in bidding for free agents. But anyway, I guess we're caught up now. He is projecting a profit, $4.5 million profit for this year. And let's look at salaries. Our big guys, Greg Jaffrey's, is on a large salary. Again, this is $1993 dollars, so this is a lot. Greg Maddox was just signed, I think, $3.6 million per year. So, and Barry Bonds as well. I think they're both $3.6 million per year. So this is getting up there. It's steep for us. Lance Johnson, also part of his salary is being retained by the Twins. Greg Olson, closer, that $2.3 million ARB. I hope to heck it's not right. I'm not sure I'm going to invite him back for next year. Ron Gant, he's got 2 team options at the end of his contract. David Wells has a team option at the end of his. Pete J. Smith, a team option at the end of his. Sandy Alomar is projected to earn double his, but I need to move Sandy Alomar Jr. and Tony Barron this year so I can make way for Charles Thompson, our catcher, our new catcher. Not going to re-up Dave Stewart. I think when we get close to the trading deadline, I'm going to flip him for younger guys and or prospects if possible. If he can survive that long, he is failing every week. Anyway, so this is what our budgets look like. Not sure if I will bring Ed Nunez back. We got time to figure that out, but Tim Wakefield is a what would you call a project. I wanted to see. He's the only knuckleballer in the league, and I wanted to see how this works. And it doesn't work great. His knuckleball, well, I don't know. He's age 26. Maybe his stats will get better, but he's basically playing like this, like if he didn't have the knuckleball. I had him in spring training, and he got rocked. Let me see if I can find his splits, scope. Game log, maybe that's it. Okay, yeah, all the games in March, the spring games, he got rocked. So this doesn't show that he got rocked. Where was I seeing that? I don't remember. Anyway, I have him down in AAA. At some point, I want to bring him back up into the major league rotation and get more data on him. Oh, I know what it is. I actually ran. Okay, I got it. I got it. This is my Rockies. I have 2 Rockies saves. Let me see if I can show you it. Yeah, Rockies, and then Rockies beta save. This is the Rockies beta save. The original Rockies save, about midway into spring training, 3rd week of spring training, I realized that I had forgotten to set my scouting budget. Let's see, front office, player. I'd forgotten to set my player development budget and my scouting budgets. And so I restored from my most recent backup, which was back in mid-February. And it was a mulligan, I guess you could say. And anyway, during that save, the Rockies, my first go through spring training, Wakefield got rocked. So I went ahead and in this save, I didn't even try him in spring training. I went ahead and brought in another arm and sent him down. That's when I signed where is he? Dave Stewart. Dave Stewart, this guy, so he's age 36. He's performed well for us so far. I say that now I realize he has got a 99 ERA plus. He's performed well, but the main thing is he is a captain of the team. He's the only captain we've got on our squad. And there he is, Dave Stewart, the captain. That's the main reason I brought him off. I signed him as a free agent. It was for his captain leadership. So I've got to replace him with a captain when I sell him, and that's not going to be easy. They're rare. Captains are rare. Okay, let's get back to what I wanted to start with in the first place, and that is transactions. Okay, so starting from October 1992, our personnel were acquired, and I didn't do this. It did it automatically. Jesse Pirtle, I think it did. I don't recall doing this myself. I had to fire this guy. He and I were just too much at odds, and I just didn't like him. I didn't like him. Temperamental. Didn't like the guy, so I fired him. November, changed a pitching coach. December, here we go. Changed my team doctor and negotiated with my draft picks. Lost a few guys in the Rule 5 draft, and don't care. Didn't lose anybody we needed. Let's see. Signed a few guys to minor league contract, minor league free agents. Jose Feliz, we looked at him already. Actually, no. Feliz. Okay, different guy. Different guy. This was our draft pick, Jose Feliz. So that was December. And now, January. Here we go. Traded a AAA guy, this guy, Jim Bucheri, for Mo Sanford. And Sanford is still in our AAA squad. He's 26, and he's one of these guys that I wanted to get a look at. He's got stuff for days. He's even got great stamina. He wants to be a starter, but his movement and control are too low. He could definitely be a starter in this league, though, couldn't he? That's an idea. I might have to remember that. Mo Sanford. Let's see. Wakefield. Traded. Okay. There was in the trade to get Tim Wakefield here. I sent Kevin McMullen, catcher. Not a bad catcher prospect. Plus Jim Austin, reliever. Also not a bad reliever. 22-year-old minor league catcher prospect Sean Gusha. And 22-year-old Mike Oakland. Sent those guys to Pittsburgh to get Wakefield. And I probably got fleeced, maybe. But this was all in the nature of the experiment. So that happened. Then I traded away. This was just shopping around guys that I had decided weren't going to be on my big league squad. Traded this guy away. Knowing what I know now about Coors Field, Casey Candaly, he could probably excel at Coors Field, hit for a good average, and I could probably pump his batting stats up and sell him, flip him for somebody else. But that's a story for another time. When I did this, I didn't know that. Got Tim Van Egmond, reliever, 23-year-old, and he can be a starter if he were to get the movement and control up. You know, is a flyer. And then Tony Ferreira, who was just a throw-in. So, Ferreira, okay, yeah. He's playing on my DE team. How old is he? 23, okay. So, next, I traded Bo Allred to the Giants, and I was really iffy about this, but he was a bad apple in the clubhouse, and so to my amazement, I got from the Giants, I got Jose Vizcaíno, and so he's my starting shortstop right now. It was a good deal for us. Let's see. Signed these pitchers to short contract extensions. Wakefield, very cheap. David Wells and P.J. Smith, also not terribly expensive. Failed to sign some of my low-round draft picks, and I was very glad because I'd actually offered them way too much extra to sign with us. Mistake I hope I don't make next time. February, I sent this guy Boy Rodriguez to LA, and he's been slashing for LA, hitting a 268, 144 OPS plus. So sent him to LA in return for Jose Offerman, whom I had very high hopes for, and I guess I still do. But for some reason, in my mind, he was a legit shortstop, and he really isn't. He's a first baseman all the way. But he does have great speed, good base running, contact, and eye. So he is a contact OBP, on-base kind of a guy. He can't hit the dingers, but he's a great small ball kind of a guy. I got to figure out how to use him because I have several first base type guys. Anyway, also got Keith Troutman, 19-year-old. Again, a flyer to see if his movement and control would improve, and it looks like it has not. Haven't lost much. Next, I shopped Charlie Montoya, and that ended up being a deal along with second baseman Pat Kelly, who is on the Royals roster. and hitting for them well. 276. 107 OPS plus. Good. Maybe my scout was not exactly right, or he's just having a good year. Performing well for the Royals. For those two guys, I got Greg Jeffries, and he is performing well for us. Not quite the OPS plus that those guys have, but I like him. Now, he is on a heck of a contract. Oof. That I'm going to have to eat. Hopefully he doesn't fall off, and we'll figure out how to get through our offensive logjam. I also got this guy, Dan Macelli. And my hope is that he can actually fill out the movement and control that my scout thinks he can. And even OSA thinks he's got a lot of ceiling. He's only 22. He has been rocked a bit this year. He's got a sky-high ERA, a couple of blown saves. Maybe he should be in AAA, but I think he's just about there. And ground ball pitcher. So if he could ever get that stamina up, man, oof. How far down would he have to go to be not bullpen? Yeah, he'd be bullpen everywhere. So anyway, he's a project. I'm really curious to see what happens with him. Still a good trade. I like it a lot. Okay, change my bench coach in February, and let's go to March. As you can see, I was making a lot of trades, and this one is my favorite one so far. I was shopping Jim Wagner, first base prospect, and for some reason, the Twins really bid on that, and I ended up getting Lance Johnson from them. This guy, we've looked at him already. I love this guy. And I was able to talk the Twins into giving me Butch Burrow as a prospect, center field prospect. And how's he doing down in A-League? He's doing okay. He is 20. He probably should be up in AAA, because that's where he was last year. Yeah, I think he'll probably do better in AAA. I'll check that offline. In return for Jim Wagner plus this guy, 22-year-old catcher prospect Ryan Freeberg. So now Freeberg might be a legit prospect. He was another guy I found in the minor league free agency. But nevertheless, we've got catchers galore, and this was a great deal. This right now looks like a steal for me. Spring training arrived, and here's another prospect we moved. I knew I wasn't going to use this guy. He was my backup catcher for a while, and so I shopped him to the Red Sox in return for 23-year-old Joel Bennett, a pitching project to see if he could improve movement and control, to see if possibly he could be a starter for us. I'd like for him to be a starter for the Sky Sox, please. Why are you not a starter? Set position. Starting pitcher, please. And let's go ahead and do that. Pitching. Ask my manager for... He still doesn't want to make him my... Okay, I may have to force him in. I'd rather him be in there than Felix Heredia. Who was it? Was it Bennett? Was he the guy I was looking at? I think it was. I'm going to move him in place of Felix. Oh, that's right. Oh, my minor league manager controls the team. The sound of me slamming my phone down. My old-fashioned phone with a dial. Fire that manager. Anyway, he needs to be starting. And 23-year-old third baseman prospect Jim Crowley. He was a throw-in, and I don't know why I added him, but anyway, good return for that. Then brought in Dave Stewart, and we moved to April. A lot of activity in April. Obviously, as spring training ended, traded Glen Hill to the Orioles, and he is doing well for them. Last time I checked, he is not doing well for them now. Oof. He's negative half a WAR for them, and I just didn't have room for him. I like him. I just didn't have room for him in my outfield. In return for him, I got they sent me this guy, Greg Olson, and I think the reason they sent me Olson is because he's got a large contract. So anyway, why is he unhappy? Performance? I thought you were doing just fine, my dude. He's giving up some walks. Yeah, he's giving up a few too many walks, but fine. 1 earned run and 9 innings pitched, man. Where I come from, that's a 1.00 ERA, so that's pretty cool. It's cool, bro. He's got 2 wins and 3 saves. Well, he does have a blown save early in the season, but or not early, but a week ago. Yeah, anyway, so Greg Olson, he's one of the guys that I keep thinking maybe he'll get his stamina up. The stamina fairy will come in and, well, anyway, he turns into a starter. So, the next one. We sent Craig Wilson, who at one point was our starting third baseman, a fine third baseman, good arm from third. Sent him to Cleveland. And he's mediocre there, but he's at least on their roster, right? Craig Wilson. Also, Tom Schmidt, prospect. Got in return for them, I got this guy, prospect Jose Hernandez. He's now in our A-League. He's one of the guys I think will excel on our major league team once he ripens. We could put him at shortstop, bump his stats up, and then sell him. And Park Chop Pugh. I had to get him because of his name, man. But he does look like he has some potential. So, and he's hitting well at our Class A team, California League, Central Valley Rockies. Orioles released Greg Tubbs, the Rule 5 draft, and I think I promptly turned around and released him too. Milt Hill. The Cardinals came to me wanting Milt Hill, this guy. And my scout thinks his movement rating is not great. OSA agrees with him. And so has become my primary thing at Coors is I want a high movement rating. So I decided to move Hill. But he's done well with the Rockies, a 1.38 whip and a 2.03 ERA plus. So good on you. He does have a lot of walks, but which is kind of sus. In return, though, I got this guy, Dave Richards. I got the Bobsey twins. Dave Richards, again, he's a project. I wanted to see how he did. And not too good, as it turns out. He's given up 2.5 home runs per 9. But not terrible. I mean, a 2.18 whip, which is not great at all. But along with him, I got his twin, Jerry Santos. And he has much better data, but only 2 innings pitched, 3 appearances. Maybe his control is a bit better. Who knows? So anyway, these two guys I thought were very interesting. Also, Roberto Hernandez, he blew a save that just pissed me off so bad, and I decided to move him. He looks decent compared to the rest of my pen, but I was like, no, I'm done. He's blown too many saves, and I'm done. So in return, I got Kevin Jordan from the New York Yankees. Prospect, infield prospect. And looks like he is buried in the depth charts. My phone's blowing up from noise. And yeah, that's what I got. So, and at that point, the Pirates released Chuck Carr, and then I re-released Chuck Carr because I have no room for him. So that was, let's see, do we have any? Yeah, one more. Eddie Zambrano. Oh, Eddie Z. I love this guy. And I wanted to find a place for him. I had a Braves sim years ago in an earlier version of OOTP. I wanted to see if I could create a dynasty in 1991 and keep it chugging. And I did. And anyway, Eddie Zambrano, I had fond memories of his performance in that sim. And I hated to part with him, but I didn't have room for him in my outfield. And so he was hitting great in my minor league. Anyway, he's very happy because I traded him to Toronto. He has new life. In return, I got this guy, a first, second shortstop, an infield prospect who also plays right field, Brandon Cromer. Second base, he could turn into quite a player. So I was happy with the trade. That's April, and I think that's all. Yeah, haven't had any transactions in May. It's May 1st. It's May Day in 1993. So that's the history of my trades, and I'll bring this to a close. And in the next episode, I want to talk to you more about strategies and strategies, management, and that kind of thing. All right, I'll see you then.